Turn on the record. Okay. Good morning, Hi Ten, George Realty. I hope you had a very nice weekend. I'm sure you heard a lot about the housing markets being cooled down, especially around the other part of the country. But in California, it's still pretty robust. I have to admit, and if you look around, we still have a lot of activities, and especially the condos by James Chow is selling really good. We have good activities, we have good prices, and we're still pretty pretty busy, and this is the busy season for real estate, and I hope that you guys will take advantage of it. Well, at least until October, where it will slow down again. So the weather is especially nice for door knocking and go to socializing with the sphere of influence, and so wrap it up and do some more business, okay? And with that, I would like to introduce our affiliates for today. And I think we have affiliates spotlight by Andrew Chen, right, Michelle?
Yeah,
And
Michelle. Yeah,
oh,
yes,
Michelle?
Michelle Ma will speak. Andrew and
Okay.
Michelle are in the room.
Oh, okay, okay, good. Then we'll wait until we introduce all the affiliates. So let's begin with affiliate Angie Tang from First American Title. Angie, good morning.
Good
Nice to
morning,
have you back.
everyone. Thank you. Nice to be back. I'm glad we're all in the groove, back in the groove of everything. A few things. First to fraud, we have a podcast at First American on fraud, and it gets up. We keep adding new podcasts, so do take a look. There's been a lot of more fraudulent activity lately than before. The last one that I listened to was on of power of attorneys. So
Hmm.
people have been using power of attorneys in a fraudulent way, unfortunately. But we're here to catch those things so that Peter is happy because we don't have to go to litigation. You don't have to use your E&O. So we're here to help you guys secure your transactions and protect your clients. I just had a recent case this last week. Actually, I've worked it out this morning at 6:45 in the morning, but it got worked out. There was a seller who we're going through the escrow now. So they bought it from I shouldn't say who, but they bought it from a big developer. And once they closed escrow, there was a mechanics lien added to the property. So the client didn't know about it until now when they're trying to sell it, and we run the prelim, and now there's a mechanics lien attached to the property. So we're trying to unravel it. The developer's title company was their own title company, and they were having difficulty trying to have them release that mechanics lien because it belonged to Lennar, not to the new owners, but it covered all the development project. And so it took them a long time before they could actually release it. But we ultimately, with a few emails and calls, we were able to get it taken care of. So now we're moving forward to closing. So
No,
that happened this morning at 6:45.
that's
So
good. Well,
yeah.
Angie, can the mechanics lien be cured as simultaneous or concurrent with the closing of escrow?
Um, you can, but then the seller would have to sign an indemnity letter, which in this case we offered it to them just so we can close it quickly. But
Uh-huh.
they didn't want, they didn't want to do the indemnity letter because
Oh,
ultimately, if they did the indemnity letter and something would happen, then the seller would be liable for that
oh
that
yeah, yeah,
mechanics lien.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
they didn't want to
Mhm.
work with that, even though they knew that it belonged to Lennar. Oh, whoops. Even sorry, I was trying not to say the company, but it's a development company. But anyways,
Well, it's
yeah, they
good
took
that you caught it at the last moment,
yeah, so we
That's
took
very
care of
good.
it. Yeah,
That's good.
so it happens.
Yeah. Well, lately we have a case with the fraudulent seller too, in the Pacific Palisade, where
Hmm.
they burned down, the lot has been burned down, and there was a guy who purported to be the seller, and in fact he's not. And almost the closing escrow, and all, we found it at the last minute, and my agent was really, really angry and frustrated. But it happens.
Yeah.
What can we do? You just have to deal with it when it happens.
Yeah, and just be cognizant that this is happening because the last thing you want to do is close one of those fraudulent
Yeah, I
transactions.
know. Yeah,
A
they,
big
oh,
mess, a very big
yeah.
mess.
Yeah,
So
very big mess.
yeah,
And
we're
then
here to catch them.
now this buyers want to sell to sue the listing agent. I said, well, if you want to to save the money and the time with it, but good luck.
Yeah, it
I
won't go
mean,
anywhere.
because the listing agent doesn't know either. He's just a
Yeah,
citizen.
yeah, he's a victim as well, spending
Yeah.
all the money to try
But
to
anyway,
close it.
okay. All right. Thank you,
Thank
Angie.
you. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you guys. Good
All
to see you
right.
guys.
All right. Okay. And then next is Marie from Contemporary Escrow. Marie.
Good morning, everyone. Marie Paramore with Contempo Escrow. I had one topic to talk about, and then Angie said something that triggered something. So, what I want to talk to you is lately, it seems like in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I'm getting a lot of calls on vacant land for sale. It's like a hot commodity right now. And guys, if you ask every title officer in here, we are all struggling with land sales that are illegal or fraud or things of that nature. And we have to be so careful in regards to people contacting us about land space. I had an individual who called me who is an agent, but then she wants to do it for sale by owner on a piece of land that's in the middle of nowhere. Um, the first question I asked is send me your driver's license and call me. We have to do our due diligence when people are contacting you regarding listings that they have. I've seen it all too many times where I've actually seen, and I've spoken about this, where an individual got a hold of a seller's driver's license, somehow copied the driver's license, put his information, and had put his property for sale. And the only reason that property didn't happen is because the next door neighbor had been begging that seller for that property for a long time. So when she saw the for sale sign and then in escrow, she called the seller directly and he told her, I don't have my property for sale. And that's how he had to contact the FBI. He had to come to my office because I helped him do some notary work to do the identification of that. So when we're hearing about this vacant property, please do your due diligence. Contact people like Angie, contact people like myself. Because even once we're in our transaction, title companies are requiring more. They want escrow to send out the notaries directly so they can see them. They want certified statements. So when you have land that people are calling you about, because I know if I'm being contacted about them, so are you. So just make sure you do your due diligence to find out who those sellers of that property are, and then contact us if you need, to go a further step. My seller asked me, are you able to identify my buyer? Can you help me identify her? Well, that's not an escrow position, but it can be a titles. And Angie can correct me if I'm incorrect, that can be a title thing of to doing some whatever backgrounds can happen to that buyer. So whatever you need, I'm here to help you. Have a great rest of your week, and let's do some business. Have a great day.
Thank you, Marie. You have a good day too. All right, next is Maria Howard from Old Republic.
I've been thinking about that name when it starts off with old. I'm not sure if I'm really happy with old.
Oh,
But anyways, much home warranty, we're always the same. We don't encounter a fraud. Has people pulled things? Of course they do. But everybody, like Angie and Marie said, I think the best practices is, doing your due diligence. Um, when you're doing a home inspection, the home inspector asks for a camera and sewer scoping because the number one claim in home warranty, of course, as you know, is plumbing. And plumbing is invisible to the naked eye. And, in home warranty world, we're not all the same. Our coverages may mirror in different ways, but the exclusions on our policy, what we cover, what we cap out, and how far we go into plumbing stoppages do differentiate. So, that fine print on that brochure is essential to know what those differences are. Also, working with a representative that will pick up your phone call, return your call, reach out to your clients, and mitigate any spots that are a little stodgy with time frames because they do happen. That's the reality of life. Things do happen. But the important thing is that you know that you have somebody that you can reach out for any questions or concerns before and after close of escrow, I'm the person you will need to have in your database. So I'm going to put my information in the chat. Please, please put my information in your cell phone. So if you need to contact me in the weekend, you know you can text me. Other than that, you guys have a prosperous Monday. It's Monday. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Valeria. Thank you very much. All right, next we have Mark Wu. Hi, Mark. Good morning. You seem
Good
to
morning,
be
Peter.
busier than ever, although you think that you're semi-retired.
I am busier than I'd like to be, but that's okay. You're to help out. Um, just to let your agents know, it's been better to get the proposal back. They're not taking as long, but it's still a challenging and limited market. So be proactive, whether you're the buyer or the seller's agent. I'm finding out more than ever, that the seller agent is getting involved because the buyer agent is dropping the ball, and it's causing issues in meeting that due diligence period for insurability. So if you don't want that to happen, what many of my seller agents have been doing is saying, hey, if you're having difficulty, contact this such and such person on my team. Naturally, I would like that to be me, but if you're working with somebody, then absolutely have them, refer that name out. But know that I have access to market due to my broker relationship, and we are getting deals done. You got to also make sure that you are not costing yourself a deal that's going to be falling out, because they're not expecting their home insurance or the condo insurance to be higher than what they are accustomed to paying or what the sellers have been paying. And, when they find out the rates are double and sometimes even triple, it gives them sticker shock. But if you set the expectation, then they're prepared for that and say, hey, this may be a temporary thing for a year or two until our insurance industry settles down. So if you don't want your deals falling out of escrow due to insurability, then be proactive. Again, last year it was about 16%. It's higher this year just because, the market is challenging, but I'm here to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Okay, next we have Mai Chu from Fidelity National Title.
Hi, good morning,
good morning.
everybody. Good morning, my True with Fidelity Title. If you guys need any legal documents that are like blank POA, blank grant deed, blank SI, you can go to my website, www.mytrue.com, hover over resources and select legal documents. And then we also do have an accommodation desk. So if anybody needs any transfers, please let me know and we can assist you with that as well. And I still have a ton of open house kits. So if anybody needed it for open house on the weekends, let me know as well, and I can assist you with that as too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mai. Appreciate it. Okay, I think that's all the affiliates other than our affiliate spotlight today, and we have Andrew Chen and also Michelle Ma, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So they are
Michelle Mai.
Oh, Michelle Mai. Okay. And Michelle, good morning.
Good morning, Peter. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Michelle Mai with Central Escrow Group Mortar Park office. I started my escrow career since 2002. And today we're going to talk about the real estate withholding. As we know, there's two types of withholding for real estate transactions. The first one is for the state of California, which for all the transactions that the seller needs to fill out the Form 593. We're not going to go over all the details because it will take forever to go over line by line and all the questions or everything. But I just want to share my past experience with you guys. The first one is that the easiest one is if this is the seller's principal residence, if the seller lived there 2 out of 5 years, then there's no question, no doubt that they can claim it as their principal residence. However, not all the sellers are the same. Questions that I have, such as I did live there, however, I moved out for the past 2 years. So does the subject property that I'm selling still qualify for my principal residence? And then also the other question I had is like, we do not rent out the property. However, my parents are living there. So when I sell it, can it qualify as my principal residence? There's like questions like this. We always recommend our clients to contact their attorney. I mean, sorry, my mistake. Contact their CPA to get, since we don't know how the clients fill out their tax return. We don't know if they file as rental property before or anything. So that's why we always recommend clients to check with their accountant or CPA when they before they sell the property. And then the second form, the second form we're gonna talk about is the form A2AA. This is for the IRS. This is when the seller is a foreigner. Then they need to fill out, not them, but the buyer needs to complete this form, signed it, and then we need to return back to the IRS together with the payment. This form is regardless the seller has gained or lost. I'm sorry, the buyer has to complete it and report it to IRS at the close of escrow. The one thing I would like to share is that the form on the first page, AB, the buyer needs to fill out their social security number. And the problem is that most of the time when sellers accountant need to file tax return, they need the buyer's social number. And most of the cases, the buyer will not, or they don't want to release their social number. So that it's better to find an experienced CPA so that they know what to do when the buyer doesn't want to release their social number. I got into that case so many times. It's because of the accountant said without the buyer's social number, they cannot get the seller's tax return back, but which is not true. There's a way to do it. So that's what we're gonna go over quickly for these two forms. If you have any questions or if you want me to go into all the details, you can give me a call or you can email me if you have any questions. And then that is it. Thank you.
I have a question. A lot of times the clients are asking the agent to help them fill it out. And so we always ask them to refer back to their own CPA or
Right.
attorney. Is that what you tell them as well?
Yes, definitely. The
Okay.
first thing I tell my clients is better to consult with your accountant. And
Yeah.
then good question is that it happened to me too. It just happened to me like last year. Agent of mine, she was like very nice. She helped the client to fill out the 593. And of course, nobody wants to withhold any taxes at closing. So the seller told the agent, oh, we have lost. And then I don't know how they make up all the numbers. They completed the form, signed it. However, when the client filed tax return next year, the accountant got so upset because the accountant said there's no way you can file a loss by selling the property. So then the accountant asked, who helped you to fill out the form? And obviously the agent was the one who got blamed on because she helped the client to fill it out. And so that's why the first thing I recommend to my clients, my agents, it's better to have the client to go check it out with their own CPA because we don't know, like I said, we don't know how they file tax returns. We don't know all the stories behind. So it's always good to have them to check with their accountant or CPA.
Yeah, Michelle.
Yes.
Yeah, the 593 is for the California only,
That's
right?
Yes. That's
And
correct.
that applies to the seller who is not necessarily the foreigner, but even if if had a permanent residence or even a U.S. citizen, they can withhold the tax in order to prepare for the state tax later on, right?
593 actually applies to foreigner and non-foreigner. I mean, sorry, yes, apply to all the parties, apply to all the sellers.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So what is the condition what is the criteria for withholding the 593 for citizens?
The requirement, well, for the citizens, like I mentioned it earlier, there's like 1 to 12. 1 to 11. If the seller mark any of these boxes here, then we do not need to withhold at the close of escrow. But if they don't qualify for any of these exemptions, then we need to withhold. And then it really depends on if they're gonna fill out the second page or they want to. There's two types of withholding for 593. Either you can withhold 3.33% of the sale price or 12%, 12.3% of the gate amount. So it's
Of the
really
gained amount?
of the
Oh.
gate amount. So it really depends on how the client complete the 593.
12.3% of the gain amount? What do you mean gain amount?
Gained amount is how much you make by selling
Oh,
property.
for the
Like
gain
after
amount.
you,
Oh, okay.
yeah, after you minus your depreciation, expenses, all the closing costs, things like that, that's the gate amount for you to times the 12.3%.
Mm-hmm.
And
If it determined later on that's less than 12.3%, do they refund your money?
That is when they file tax return and then the CPA will calculate all the numbers with the sellers because everyone has their own tax bracket. So it's hard
okay.
to tell. So that's why I always recommend my client to check with their CPA.
Okay. Okay, nice.
It's good for state, right?
Yeah, 593 form is only good for the state of California.
Yeah, no federal.
No, that federal is only for when the seller is a foreigner.
Yeah.
That is the
Okay.
Form 8288.
Yes. But for this one, both are either resident or foreigner.
For all parties. Yeah, for all the sellers. Yeah. Yes.
I'm confused as, cause I have a friend, she bought a condo and she paid too much for it just recently. So she sells it for a loss. Well, that's what I don't understand. It is a loss.
Okay, then that she will need
There's
to
a-
complete this form.
Right.
Yeah, this
But they
section,
won't withhold
that's correct.
they will not.
They will not.
Okay, that's what.
Yeah, first of all, she needs to mark the number 3.
Right, I
part
understand.
3, and then she has to complete the section to show all the numbers.
Right.
And then there should be a negative right here.
Mhm.
Then we do not need to withhold at the close of escrow.
Right.
However, this form needs to be complete correctly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any questions?
I've noticed that sometimes, okay, so I'm still green as an agent, and sometimes, if, you know, I haven't been approached by any questions regarding taxes, withholdings, or anything like that. How do you go by responding to a potential client if they ask you certain questions and stuff, and an agent doesn't know? Just refer to them to the CPA, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, each
Obviously, you
question.
can't guess or say anything up.
Yeah, because like the experience I shared earlier, like my agent was nice enough, help the client fill out the 593. When problem happens, guess who will get blamed on her, you know? And then, I mean, if the easy questions, definitely, you know, it's your client's principal residence, then, you know, if they live there, like I said, 2 out of 5 years term, then yeah, it's their principal residence. But other than that, we just don't know the situation. And then we always recommend the client to check with the CPA.
Yeah. One time someone asked me something, I think it was before we started taking some of the 1031 classes and stuff like that. And I said, you know, I would refer to your CPA about that. They would have much better knowledge and information about that.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't want to give you misinformation. And they were kind of like, okay, that's, you know.
Yeah, I'm still learning myself too. I just find out like a single member LLC. If you want to claim the property as your principal residence, then you have to use your social security number. If you go by your tax ID number, then I told my client to check with the CPA too. And then luckily I told him to do that. Ended up we have to withhold at the close of escrow. Yeah, so there's lots of things I'm still learning every day. And yeah, so
Agents, I mean, I'm learning.
yeah, I mean, there's so many situations we don't know, and So again, it's better to consult with their CPA. Yeah, and then I learn from my clients too, case by case.
I have a question for Peter, pertains to you. Even Peter,
Yes.
no, my friend sells her condo at a loss. They don't withhold taxes. But the California and the IRS are still gonna see it as they're gonna tax on the capital gains.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, before they were forgiving it when there were shorts for the temporary, but that ran out, I think.
I didn't hear what you said last.
That they were pardoning that for a while, but I think it's back on. Even though she sold it for a loss, the state will see it as a gain.
The sale can be a gain?
The state will
It's
see it
not
as
a
a
loss.
gain.
How can there be capital gain?
Oh, because she
The
bought for
depreciation?
that's where I was confused.
Yeah, because you have all the years you have the depreciated. That's why.
Well,
That's
it's
why you have to
not if it's a principal residence.
Yeah.
I think might be the case.
Principal residence, you have an exemption of 250,000 per.
No, I understand that. But if she's losing money, well, they see it as a gain.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Her income too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
That's what I'm saying.
it's not just that, you've got
Right.
income, you know,
That's why I
involved.
don't want to tell this client anything, see your CPA.
Right, Peter, they're gonna consider all income.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just one component.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Might be the case,
Yeah.
as you mentioned at the beginning, if the owner, they didn't occupy the home, but they rent it out as income property.
Mm-hmm.
If they, want to move in at least 2 years later, when they sell, so they don't need to file this one.
Yeah,
Otherwise, they have to,
that's right.
because of, income property.
Yeah, he ended up, the CPA
Right.
told him that he did file for the subject property as a rental property
Right.
for the past 2 years. And there's too late for him to change it back to a principal
Right.
residence after, you file tax return for the
Yeah,
past
so
2 years.
that's why they have to file this,
Yeah,
I-93.
right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions for Michelle? For
No,
people
thank
on
you.
the Zoom?
Okay. yeah.
Anybody?
You haven't talked then?
Oh, no.
No, you're not today.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Michelle, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we
Very
appreciate it. Thank you
interesting.
very much. Thank you
Great
very much.
subject, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I have a few announcements. Anybody else have any questions? Let's do that first. If not, I have a few announcements to make. This Wednesday, we have a lunch and learn by David Huynh. He's going to talk about how to spot a commercial opportunity by using the CCIM methodology. And you know that David is a CCIM for a long time, and he's very knowledgeable in this respect. And he's going to share with us how to do the commercial real estate and spot the opportunity. And it should be pretty interesting. I hope you can attend. That will be this Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And light lunch will be provided. So I encourage everybody to attend. And this Friday, Michelle will continue the training on the forms that are newly released in June 2025. And last week, she has touched on the new forms, but this Friday, she's going to talk about the forms that has substantial changes, including the RPA. And you know the RPA is the most important document in the arsenal. So we'll talk about that as well. And so please attend the training. It should be pretty interesting. And next Friday, as you know, that we have an annual award ceremony for the core banker, not core banker anymore, for the High 10 George Realty. And at that time, the agents and the notable teams will be honored. But it is by invitation only. So congratulations on those who got invited by Michelle. So that's what's going on in our company. So with that, Michelle, do you have any sales listings and things to announce? Please?
Yes, I'm going to be announcing the sales from the last couple of weeks because we didn't have a meeting during the 4th of July week. So to start it off, Alice Chu had a residential sell in a new escrow in Fullerton at 1.288. Christine Finn completed a lease, double-ended it in Rosemead for residential. Richard Wang had a land sale in Victorville for 1.5 million. And let's see, Kevin Lee in Rialto had a land selling for 375. He is the listing agent. Karina Pang had a lease unit in Alhambra. She was the selling agent or the tenants rep. Shumayan Harrison had a lease in San Gabriel, a commercial unit, and they also had a lease at 660 Huntington that is leased out now. And I can't read the name. It's Postano Pacific Palisades. Richard had a residential lot. Richard Wang, he's a selling agent at 850 that went into escrow. Now we'll go to the weekly listings for the last 2 weeks. So we have East Las Tunas in San Gabriel. It's a lease at $3,000 a month. Karina Pang is a listing agent. 1612 South 7th Street, units A and B, $2,700 a month and $3,300 a month. That is residential lease listings for Alex Agaris. On Rio Hondo Parkway in Rosemead, lease listing Christine Finn, $2,800 a month. 2908 Cogswell Road in El Monte, that is a listing by Sharon Chow for 1.4. And Rosemead on Marshall Street, Alden Lai has a listing at 1.3. Okay. 516 Diamond Street in Monrovia, Kathy Chu has a lease listing at $2,300 a month. Juan has a, what is that? A business opportunity at $35,000, and that's in La Habra. Southview Avenue in San Gabriel, Christine Finn has another lease at $3,400 a month. These are residential. 1224 Main Street in Alhambra, Shumayan Harrison, commercial at $2,750 a month lease. And 1708 Via Miranda, Suki Husky, $2,450 a month residential lease. And now we'll go to the closed escrows for the 2 weeks. Rosemead on Walnut Grove, closed by listing agent Alden Lai. Selling agents were Shumay and Harrison Cam at 1.3 million. In Alhambra on Monterey Street for 340,000. It was a lease, a residential lease, and that was closed by Nina Shu on both sides. Via Canaris in Yorba Linda, Sophia Chow closed a residential. She was the selling agent at 1.639. And let me go to the other week. 80th Street in Los Angeles, Jesus Alvarez closed a transaction residential at 649. 214 Canterbury and Irvine, residential closed by Tatiana Dang at 2.6 million. 4141 South Nogales in West Covina, a commercial unit. Listing agent was Alden Lai, and that closed at 840. a lease unit at Golden Springs closed by Shumei Cam. And that value was about $85,000. So commercial leasing is lucrative, folks. You can make some good commission. 168 Monterey, number 412. That is a condo sold by Nina. She represented both sides at 880. Another condo on Marquis Street in Alhambra, 735. Nina Shu is the listing agent. That closed. Nina and Tatiana, listing agents, closed a condo on Chandler, number 407 at 703. What a great couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We noticed the activity and we're so happy to see all of you in the office. It's very wonderful. So applauds to all of you for the hard work. Yes.
Good job. Good job. Very good. Thank you, Michelle.
Mhm.
Yes, as you can see that we have quite a bit of activities in the office. Everybody's working hard, and I'm very pleased to see that. And join us. You know, we can make some good money and have some production before the year end. So anybody who has a new listing or new escrows that are not mentioned here, or simply just you want to pitch your listing or anything that you want to share. It's open to open forum for everybody.
I would.
Okay, Lucy, go ahead.
I have a bigger price reduction for the commercial building. That's used to be Bank of America.
Oh, okay.
So the price was 3,690,000, now reduced to the original price as the seller was boarded. So he's very motivated to sell. So price was reduced to 3,300,000. So that's really a good price for the each square footage. So only $227 per square footage.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
cheaper to build. To build the building, it costs $350. So it's very motivated, and it's a corner building, and it's the best location in the city of Ontario.
Okay. Is it vacant right now, Lucy?
The Bank Americans move out, downsize. So the owner occupy is the best to use for.
Okay.
Or whatever investor can build. You can build Starbucks there, do anything you want. It's very attractive location.
Good, good. And if you have some information and I can email it to me, I can e-blast it to all the agents. If you want.
Yes, yes, I will do that for you.
Okay.
And the next one I have coming soon of let me open this one. I have a coming soon investment commercial plaza. This is more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I have 21 units. So in the city of South El Monte, and the address is 9567 Garvey Avenue, and this is called the Crown Plaza. The property has 21 units, fully leased, no vacancy. So the building is a 17,173 square footage, and the lot is 35,000. So it has a good parking space for the tenants. So the seller would like to sell it for retirement. He don't want to do a commercial building anymore, just want to retire. The asking price is very reasonable. It's 4.5 million.
Okay, what is the cap on that property? You know?
As 4.5.
4.5. Oh.
Really good.
Lucy, what was the
Address.
again, please?
It's 9567.
Okay.
The leases increase every year 5%. All the leases long-term lease. So I didn't do performer. This is current.
Is it a triple net? All along?
Yes.
Okay.
Tenant, a landlord don't pay anything.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. All right. Anything else? Any question for Lucy? Any question at all? Okay, if not, I will go into today's presentation I would like to share with you. Michelle, can we have
It's
a share
ready.
screen?
Yeah.
Okay, it is. Okay. Okay, now recently I have a lot of questions regarding renewing licenses. I always have questions regarding licenses for some reason, but this one it pertains to the CE exemption. As you know that the DLE would exempt the CE requirement if the agent has over 70 years old and has been active 30 straight years with the DLE. So, if you qualify with that, then you can renew your license without the CE education. But the thing is that you have to renew by paper, I mean by in writings instead of going to the e-licensing. So recently I did it on my own renewal under this exemption, and I want to share that with you so that whoever qualifies and can do it very easily. Okay. Now, as you know that you can do a lot of services in the e-licensing. They make it very simple, and all you have to do is go to the website, DLE website, and go into e-licensing, log it in, and then you can do the following the services very readily, very quickly, and you don't need to have any approval from anybody. So the first one is to renew your salesman's license or broker's license. If you have all your CE requirements, you're ready to upload them to the website. But if you don't have the requirement done, you cannot use the e-licensing. And also if you qualify for the exemption and you want to apply for the exemption, you have to do it in writing. You cannot use the e-licensing either. And then you can also change your mailing address. You can change your main office address, and also you can add or change a responsible broker for the salesperson. In other words, if you are a salesperson and you don't want to work for High-Ten George Realty, you can always go to the e-licensing and
This
click.
one.
And with the one click, then you can switch it to another brokerage very easily. And and you don't need anybody's approval. You don't need any credential or whatever.
Put on my picture
Supporting
away.
documents. All you have to do is that you're willing to change brokerage. Okay, and then you can also add or change a branch office. That is mainly for the brokerage.
10 years later for
So,
me.
For example, if High-Ten George Realty have another branch office, they can use that to change the address or
It's about experience.
add another branch office. And also you can apply for duplicate license certificate. You can also do the involuntary inactivate or reactivate your license also. So in other words, whenever you have a active license, you want your license to be inactive, all you have to do is go to the e-licensing and click, and
Love you forever.
then you'll put it into the inactive.
Whatever.
Can we mute the people?
Upstairs one, downstairs.
Everybody except me. Michelle, can you help me with that?
I get order. I'm headache.
Lucy.
Yes.
Can you mute yourself, please?
Sorry. Short.
Yeah, please. I am doing. All right, thank you. Okay, and then also you can do the request of licensing, license certification. You can update the employment information as well. Something that you cannot do with the e-licensing, though, that is, if you renew a license with a continuing education exemption, like in this case, if you are 70 years old or older and have been actively participated with your license for 30 continuous years, then you don't have to have a continuing education requirement. But you cannot do it with the licensing. You must do it in writing. And then and with the form RE 208, if you are a broker, and 209 if you are the salesperson. And another one thing that you cannot do with the e-licensing is the name changes. Say example, if the agents got married and you want to change the name from Mary Jane to Mary or whatever Chan, then you can you cannot use the e-licensing. You must do it in writing, and you must provide the legal documentation to prove that your change of name is legitimate. And then also you cannot use lease licensing for the restricted license applications. And also if you're out of state and you want to do business here, if you're residents of out of state and you want to do business here in California, and your application has to be in writing, and you cannot use the e-licensing. And lastly, if you want to add or change the fictitious name, for example, if you are doing business as Fernando, the real estate services, and then you have to establish your fictitious name, and then you have to prove it to the DRE that it's a legitimate fictitious name after the publication of the fictitious names in LA County. Then you can apply for a change of or addition of a fictitious name under that category. So those are the things that you cannot do with the e-licensing. So, but if you want to add or change a DBA, which is the doing business as is a fictitious name, first of all, you have to get approval from the county recorder's office. You have to apply for a fictitious name that are not being used by any other person, and you have to pay for that fictitious name and get a certified copy of that fictitious name. Then you go to the DRE and apply. If you're a corporation or you're a broker, you use the RE 204 or RE 204A. And if you're a salesperson applying for the DBA, you use the RE 247 form. And then you mail out the documents to the DRE for processing. Right now they are very behind. Last time I make a change to the DBA name, it took me almost 2 months for the DRE to process. So this is a very time-consuming process. So if you want to do that, you better do it way ahead of time. And before you register your DRE, you're not supposed to use the fictitious name. Otherwise, if they find out, they will fine you and or they will discipline you. Okay. Now comes to the renewal of license under the CE exemption, which is the main topic for today. Now, when I told you that the DRE is very behind in that processing, paper processing, and most of the services where you send in for paper processing is at least a month behind. Like what I told you the last time when I applied for the fictitious name, it took me almost 2 months to process. So and in this renewal license under the C exemptions, no exception because you have 90 days before the license expiration to renew your license. But sometimes it takes up to 2 months in order for them to process under the CE. So CE exemption. So you really don't want to push it and to the last minute, because if they don't renew the license before you expire, that means after the expiration date, you cannot practice real estate activities. So you don't want to have your license lapse. So you really want to submit your application at least 6 to 8 weeks before the license expiration to ensure the timing processing. And make sure that you have the tracing for that. You send it in, and so that you know that they have received your documents, and they are really processing your applications. So if you have late renewals, I mean, if the license expire, and you have up to 2 years after expiration to renew or reactivate your license, but it requires a late fee, and also you may not practice during the lapse period. So it's very important that you do your renewal of license, way ahead of time, at least 6 to 8 weeks before the expiration date. So the required documents for this exemption, first of all, if you are a broker, you need the RE 208, which is the broker renewal application. But if you are a salesperson, you need the 209 for the application. And then on top of that, you need the RE 213, which is the continuing education extension or exam request, which I will show you later. You just check your age and also your experience exemption. And third, you have your valid driver's license or government issue ID, for example, a passport, to show that you are actually at least 70 years or older, because this is one of the requirements. You have to be 70 years or older in order to qualify. And then fourthly, you need a copy of the DLE license history printout, which you can request from the DLE, or you simply just print out from the website. You go into your license history, and then just print out that history, and proving that you have been actively a member of the DLE for 30 years or over. Then your license is in good standing. And lastly, you send a check of $450 for the broker's application. I think it's a little cheaper for the salesperson. I think salesperson is like $370, and you have to be payable to the Department of Real Estate, and send everything, all the item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the DLE. And this is the form RE 208. You don't have to fill up everything, because this form can be used for multiple purposes, like change a personal name, add or cancel a fictitious business name, change telephone numbers, change the mailing address, change your main office address. But in this case, you just want to print out, fill out the renewal applications for the CE exemption. And then, of course, you have to add another form, which is RE 213, which is a continuing education extension or exemption request. You don't have to fill anything extension request here. All you have to do is fill out the exemption request, which is very simple. You just say, you put out your date of birth and whether it's a salesman or broker, and then when you're first licensed, and you just certify that 70 years old or older, and then you just send this form together with the RE209 or RE208. And then, of course, you have to prove that you're indeed over 70 years old. In this case, I use my driver's license. You can use other forms such as passport, but driver's license will suffice as well. Then you just print out, from the website, the DRE website, your license history, and they tell you that the license status is licensed, and also the broker's license issues. In my case, is since '89, so I have more than 30 years of membership or licensed in California. And then lastly, you pay the check, $450 payable to Department of Real Estate. And then you send it to, if you are just doing regular mail, you send it to the post office, PO Box 137001, Sacramento, California. But if you do a certified mail or FedEx, you do it with the physical address to Department of Real Estate, 651 Bennett Street, Suite 503, and Sacramento. Okay, and so the tip is that if I were you, I use the USPS certified mail so that I can check whether the application has been received by DRE, and so that I have a proof of delivery. And also we sure to sign all forms and include payment because a lot of times people, agents forget to sign some of the forms, and then they get the bounce back, and then take a little time to correct. And so make sure, be careful, double check it, make sure everything is properly signed, and also you include the appropriate payment, and double check all the documents clearly and show the eligibility for the CE exemptions. So with that, it's very easy to do, and I have done it many for some of my agents, because they don't know what to do, how to send it in, and how to do it in writing. I have done it many for them, and there are some older agents who are not very high-tech savvy, and so I have to do it for them. But now, since you learn about it, it's very simple. Everybody can do it. Okay. All right. So I will stop here. If you have any questions, please ask me right now. Franco, do you have any questions? You did one before, right, Franco?
Yeah, I did mine.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy, right? No big deal.
Well, I was misinformed. Somebody told me that when you're 74, and I have 30 plus years of experience and all of that I didn't have to renew my license, but that's a policy. Well, I learned it cost me $575 in penalties and stuff.
Oh.
You have to submit all your paperwork, and I did all of that, but I didn't know, and I didn't have to do any continuing education classes, even though I still had some. But somebody misinformed me at the board that I didn't have to renew my license, and I took it to mean that I didn't have to renew with the state of California.
Oh,
that's
wow.
wrong. You still have to renew your license every 4 years.
Yes, definitely. You have to renew your license, although you are exempt from having to fulfill the CE requirements. You're right.
Right. Yeah. No more having to take tests.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Franco, for your.
You're welcome.
Feedback. Camelia, you have your hands up.
Yes, I have a question. It's not necessarily related to the over 70, but it is a DRE question. So if I want to upgrade to broker license status, obviously I'd stay with a high 10, but will the DREs assign me a different license number, or can I keep this?
No. You have the same number, but your destination would be broker.
Oh, so I get to keep it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, if nothing else, I think okay. Well, I'll adjourn the meeting. Good timing today. We just have a few minutes over time. So I will see you next week, and have a very nice week ahead of you. And good luck on your everything that you do. Okay. All right. See you next week.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Fashion.